So the first question here is, what does purpose mean? What does it mean? Well, that's your why. Why are you here? What do you do? What are you born to do? What problems are you created to solve? What kind of energy are you created to democratize and share, right? Your purpose is essentially those things, that thing, because at times you're going to leave out many in a lifetime, right? But I'll tell you for free, your why for being here, your why for being here, right? That's it. My question is, how do I find what I've been called for? Is it based on what I love doing, or what are the things which I have to forego to assess what I have been called into? What is the one thing that you will tell anybody that cares to know about the cost or burden of purpose? Well, I'll tell you for free though, sacrifice for purpose is that necessary energy you have to put into anything worth doing at all. So I'm not going to attach sacrifice to the uniqueness or authenticity of expressing your purpose. I think that is required for anything you have to do. And that is the thing. What is purpose anyway, right? I think it is the assigner that has the responsibility the most than the assignee. I mean, if I send you on an errand, who is most concerned about the errand? Who gives the most clarity? Do I tie the clarity of the assignment to the assignee? No. Even in corporate world, we judge the leader if you cannot give clear instruction. God cannot make you struggle to hear what he wants you to do. No. So let's be clear. The messenger is responsible for the assignment, but the person sending the messenger is even more committed to the assignment. So it's not that deep. You just need to understand that not everybody is going to hear God. Not everyone will be clear about what to do in that sense of going to one mountain or hearing one voice, right? And that is why I put my work together. There's really little I can explain here because I don't have time. And every time I say these things without having time, people seem to misunderstand it. But in movement, the recording I have done, which I'm encouraging everybody to get, I've spent over 2 hours explaining everything. But I'll tell you one thing. Prevailing responsibility is the path to future meaning, to future power, to future anything. Faithfulness in little brings more. If you do what you are supposed to do where you are, you will find where you are supposed to be. Now, everything is gravitating towards you. It's not the other way around. You are not creating the future. The future is creating you. And that's a symposium discussion. And those are the kind of things I've analyzed, right? But trust me, more is coming to you about your purpose than you are coming into, right? The assigner is by far more intent and focused on the fulfillment of the assignment than even you are. So pay attention and go from there. The next question says, Dear PK, I have recently started following you and I want to say a big thank you for this opportunity. Awesome. I'd always wanted to be in the media space. I also believe I have a purpose to mentor young girls. Somehow I missed it as I was growing because I followed my parents' guidance on career. Right now, I am very far from all that and very confused as to where do I start from. Already in my late 40s, still not there yet. And I'm so worried. I so much believe in myself and my God-given ability, articulating thoughts and speeches, but I'm just stuck and I really do not know where to begin from. I sincerely need your help and guidance to move from here. Well, I'm going to ask you to also go listen to Movements and get it. But I'll tell you this though, you can start now. The calling and the gifting of God are without repentance. You can start whatever God wants you to do at any point of clarity, even now. So it's not too late. This is what I'll tell you. You don't have a problem of starting. That is not a problem. You just don't know the first step to take. Unfortunately, I don't have enough information to be able to pinpoint what that first step is. Maybe if you stay in touch and you DM me, probably, I'll give you more details. But I can assure you that your purpose will never leave you. Never. Is with you. It will follow you to the grave, whether you act on it or not. The only reason you are going to arrive at the grave without it is because you've done it. If you have not done it, it's going to chase you to the very last day. Have that confidence and ask new questions about where do I move from here. But DM, let's talk. But don't DM yet until you listen. Go get Movement, listen to it thoroughly, get your questions, and then come back. All right. I also have a session strictly for everybody that is investing in our pre-sales, to have a special session with them. So maybe we'll take it from there. Dear PK, thank you for this opportunity. I have been confused about what my purpose really is. One of the most challenging issues is that I am good in practically everything I do. Once I set my mind to do a thing, I tend to throw myself into it with excellent delivery as my goal. This makes it difficult for me to know what exactly I am called into even when I know that an awareness of that is what will birth the success and the impact I desire. How do I discover my purpose? I do believe I should monetize it, but I need to know that purpose first, and then I will need to know how. How do I know I am in the right path? I hope my question gets selected. It will be a great honor. Well, your question was selected. This is what I would say to you, right? Whatever your hands finds to do, I think it's overrated. Now, you may punch me for this, but people who don't know what you know have found purpose. People who don't go to church, who are not spiritual like you, who don't see all that you see, who don't pray like you, they've done amazing things in the world, right? You can argue whether Bill Gates has found all his purpose. You can argue that, but you cannot argue that he has found purpose. You can't argue that. It's not going to get born again tomorrow or meet God at the level and then it's going to stop Microsoft. It's going to now stop everything he has done or everything he's doing. No, he's just going to continue. That's it. That's it. You know, if you marry a wife before you got born again and then you got born again, do you divorce the wife? No, you continue. So what's that? What's that? Who made that choice for you? Is that an ungodly choice? If that was wrong, then when you get born again, you should chase the wife away. God doesn't do that. So it doesn't mean that you must be with God to sense the energy and the weight of whatever it is you are called into. We pick these things up because the force of heaven gravitates to us more than we think we are running towards it. So understand that whatever your hands finds to do, do it till you find that clarity. If you listen to movements, you get a lot of clarity there. But I can tell you this right now, whatever your hands finds to do, whatever your hands finds to do it like it's all you will ever do. That responsibility will usher you into something specific. So keep moving. That's the idea. Good day, PK. Thank you for the opportunity to do this and to get a direct response from you. My name is Dash. I am 43 years old and I am a pastor. Been pastoring for 9 years in what you might call an almost full-time capacity. I am not the president of my church. I pastor a branch of our church. My church is headquartered in and I pastor in. Before I started pastoring, I always knew I had something to do in the monastery and in entrepreneurship. I have pastored for almost a decade, and where I would have thought I would be in ministry still looks far-fetched. The entrepreneurship part is completely absent. Lately, I have been thinking of leaving local church pastoring and going into missions. But then I am beginning to second-guess myself if this will not be another adventure in futility. I am actively trying to leave the country right now and go to Europe for a master's degree and hope to relaunch myself from there. I have a lot going on in my mind, but I have little to show for it. I really need your thoughts on how best you think I can navigate this journey. I feel pressed for time to make an impact, something I am really interested in making in time. I'll tell you that what you have described here is not about purpose. You are confused. That's it. And don't punch me for that. You are confused. Now, confusion is not a psychological state. Let's be clear. It's not a psychological state. It's not like there's anything going wrong in your head or in your brain. No. Confusion actually is for those who know. Confusion is not ignorance, and confusion is not psychological. Confusion is a refusal or inability or unpreparedness to take a decision in the face of options. So those who are confused are actually people who know what to do. They just know more than one thing to do, and they don't know which to settle on. That's confusion. You cannot be confused if you are ignorant. You cannot be confused if you are ignorant. If you don't know anything, if you don't know what to do, you can't be confused. For you to be confused, you know more than what to do. So you know many things, you can't settle on one. That's confusion. The inability, refusal, or unguardedness, or unpreparedness, whatever it is, as long as you cannot make a decision in the face of options, you are confused. So the issue here is not about purpose, it's about decision making. It's about decision making, right? But again, I could see if I could spare a little more extra time with you. I need specifics. You know, I always say that a good doctor, no matter how powerful he is, no matter how knowledgeable he is, his prescription is as good as the diagnosis. Once a diagnosis is wrong, the prescription cannot be right. Now, the diagnosis itself is tied to information supplied by the patient, right? Or from the machine or from the test. It needs information to make diagnosis, and it needs correct diagnosis to make prescription. So right now, I don't have enough information to really prescribe what you need to do, right? But I do have enough information to know that the issue here is about decision making, not purpose. My boyfriend introduced me to your content, and I must sincerely thank you for answering God's call and being a blessing through your work. Thank you. I am a chartered accountant currently working in the tax industry. However, my true passion lies in finance and investment. Lately, my job feels unfulfilling. There's little motivation, no real challenge, and the pay feels unfair. Because of this, I began teaching finance and investing online, drawing from my years of personal investing experience, my CFA studies, and the knowledge I've gained from books and other resources. Sometimes when I see people thriving in this space, doing the kind of work I aspire to, I can't help but wonder when my own breakthrough will come. At the same time, I feel a bit uncertain about the right path to monetization and how best to position myself to grow in this field. I truly believe that God has placed this passion in my heart for a reason, and I'm committed to nurturing it diligently. I would greatly appreciate any guidance, encouragement, and direction you can share as I continue this journey. Well, this is what I'll say, right? This is not a purpose question as well. This is a strategy question, decision-making question. The issue here is stop fighting the problem, decide the problem. But in deciding it, you need strategy, right? Strategy for exit, strategy for value, right? You don't want to stop what you are doing, start something and be struggling. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe you should, in the name of starting something on your own, begin to put yourself in unnecessary financial strain and expose your family unnecessarily. I don't think so. I think that learning curve is dead in that sense. You can start a business today and make money in 30 days time, right? So I think if you're above 25, you have lost your right not to make money every 30 days. I think so. So you need strategy, right? How do you start? How do you put yourself together? Because the thing is, there's a protocol and a science to manifestation. So you already know what to do. You feel the energy. I can tell you for free, you don't need a lot of God at this time. You don't need God at this time. God has helped you with all you need now. What is next is to trust your brain. Who gave you the brain? God. Don't treat your brain like it's from Satan or it's from the devil or it's from the culture. It's God that gave you. If your brain is useless, if your brain is not going to produce at this level, then God is a transgressor in that sense, right? So He gave you a brain to figure this out. Where is your money? Who is holding this money? But by that, I mean, where's the market? How do you reach these people? If you reach them, what do you say? How do you say it? Those are your 5 questions, right? And then a few layers on top of that. So dig in. When you think you have something put together, you can send me a DM and we can have a conversation, all right? I think I can help you to pretty much get out there. I like to help voices. If you're a thought leader, you have a message, you have a voice, and you believe that an audience is waiting for you out there and you don't know how to go, that's part of what God has called me to do. I can guide you into that, right? I've produced so many thought leaders over the years. Some of the people you hear every day, we have the privilege to be the one whispering to them to help them to position intelligently for what they have to do. So put something together and then show up, DM, and then we take it from there.